What's going on, prop builders, Evil Dead fans, Power Ranger fans, and just anybody wandering through YouTube? Gothman's here, and I'm gonna do an economy review of the rings. So we're doing Aquaman rings today. If you've seen my last video, you know I had a couple. I was waiting on one. They sent me this one. This isn't the right one. This is a Jason Momoa ring. He does own this. I think this is a King Baby also as a replica, but it's wrong. It's not the right one. It's not the one I wanted. And they told me somehow I had to pay for their mistake. So I advise you not to buy these on eBay because they suck. And even if you pick the right one, they're not going to send you the right one. And then they're going to try to charge you again. It's a really big issue. But somehow, you know, in my business, if I mess up or one of my staff messes up, we cover the cost 100%. Somehow they messed up 100% and somehow I spent more money. So that's irritating. Now, granted, I spent next to nothing. But it's the principle. So I don't like them and I don't encourage giving them any money. So I wanted the right ring to finish everything off. So now that we've gotten all of them, I showed everybody this ring last time. So this guy was, this is a resin cast. This is not the actual ring. I cast this so that I could make and test the gunmetal stuff. So this guy, it came out okay, and I liked it, but I really wanted to see if I could do it with the metal one. I've been experimenting with graphite powder, and I thought to myself, well, if I coat the thing in a nice airbrush, like gunmetal black, and then graphite powder it, or maybe even just a clear coat acrylic and gunpowder it, might come out pretty good. I have to say that I did do that, and I love the results. I still am really proud of the resin ones. The resin ones still look good with the graphite powder, but there's just something you can't achieve with resin that you can achieve with metal. And so this, and you can see the extra shine it already has. This is the darkened up graphite ring, and this looks great. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look. All right. So, what we have here before us is the Aquaman rings minus the pinky ring. The pinky ring was this thing, the King Baby ring, which we all saw and thought was legit because of the King Baby sight. But if you zoom in on the scene where he's holding the trident over the cliffs before he goes in with Mera, wearing the leather vest, his pinky ring is gunmetal and it has 4 bulbs on it, or at least 4. It might be 5 or 6. But anyway, it's not right. This was the ring they sent me. It's not the ring I wanted. This is a ring that Jason Momoa owns, but it's not the one I want. So, go away. This is the one I wanted. Now, if you look at this ring compared to this ring, you see how silver this one is and how white the cap is? That's what this ring looked like when it came to me. It was very silver, very white top. So, we went in with a clear highlighter and just colored the shell to give it that turquoise look, and it looks gorgeous. Then we hit this with a gunmetal black. And then we dusted it with the graphite, and we buffed it, and it just looks great. It looks fantastic. You do not need to spend $800 fucking dollars on a King Baby ring. Shame on you for charging that level just because you have a store on Hollywood Boulevard. What the hell's wrong with you? Any custom jewelry. I mean, I got 3 guys I know, 3 of them, who make custom jewelry with real, genuine metal casting and sculpting and things like that. And they don't charge anything near that. That is just absurd. But and they don't use diamonds or gold or any precious metals, for Christ's sake. I mean, a lot of this stuff is just metal, so I don't know what they're doing with $800 or $1,000. But this is just beautiful, and you can get the cheap version of it from China for, $3, and then you recolor it, repaint it, and it's legitimate. This guy, as you remembered, we still haven't found this ring. This ring doesn't exist, so we zoom in, we make it as best we can, we do what we can with it. But this is the ring finger, so these two are a pair. This is the index finger, this is the ring finger, that's your left hand right there. If you have these 2 rings, your left hand is good to go. Fuck off, we don't need you. This is my resin copy of the silver one that came in that looks just like this. It's called the gearhead ring, or it's got or the knuckle ring, or the, I don't know, it's got a couple different names. But even with the graphite powder, it looked pretty good, pretty shiny. Not bad at all. Just not my favorite, but this was the silver ring. If you look on the inside, you can see the silver color it was. Well, now I've gone in and painted it, and this just looks outstanding. This has that deeper gunmetal look to it. It's a little darker. It's got the gold caps now, and it is the metal ring, so it has that sturdiness to it. And you can see the detail is still in there. And it just looks, focus, it just looks great. I mean, it holds up. And, you know, a little bit of weathering. Same thing with this. If you get really close to it, you can see the silver it was on the inside, but it holds up, looks great. And when you get up close with the resin, it just has more of a plastic look to it. So it just looks more plastic. And that's because it is. And like I said, at a con, I will probably wear this. I will probably make a resin one of these too, because I don't necessarily want to wear the heavy rings all the time. I don't want to wear them out all the time. I don't want to damage them or, you know, lose them. But, God, these just came out gorgeous. They look gorgeous. But, you know, if you need one of these and you need one cheap, hit me up. I'll give you one. I can sell you one for $10. It's not a big deal. I mean, I can pop them out like I need. But I'm probably going to give this one away. I don't really need it. But these are my Aquaman rings right now. And as I said, I got to get rid of this thing and replace it with something else. And then we need to get some gold on the bottom of the necklace. So I'm probably going to dip this in a green, clear green tinted clear resin. But first, I'm going to put a little bit of gold on the bottom before I dip it. And then that's how I think I'm going to do that, just to give it that extra bit. But, yeah, really happy with these, how they came out. It holds up against its, you know, the resin one holds up against it. It's nice, but, I mean, you just can't really, you can't beat being able to do this to the metal one. So I was really glad. So hit it with a little bit of paint. I did a gunmetal airbrush black, and I just applied it with a brush. And then I heat gunned it, let it dry a little bit, and then I dusted the crap out of it with that graphite powder I showed you in the last video, and it worked great. Then you hit it with a clear coat acrylic afterwards and seal it, and you're ready to rock and roll. And what I like to do is leave little bits of the really real silver in the wear and tear spots, and then you can dab it with shoe polish or whatever and weather it, so it does give it a little bit of a worn dirt look to it. So even though it has that sexy gunmetal look, it still has that weathered look. It's not perfect, and that's what you want. Again, here you should see little flecks of silver. I should have left, maybe I needed more on this side, but you can see a few little flecks of silver because you just want a tiny little bit of character in it. But anyway, the rings came out great, so this Aquaman costume is ready to go. The gauntlets are done, so I'm ready for some shoots. So this was rocking. So if you need any of this stuff, hit me up. This is not correct. I don't want to see that. And like I said, let's wrap this up, and I can't wait for the next video, which is going to have the full desert costume.